So we're live now. Yep, we're back live. And now discussion on the budget. Any further discussion on the budget or any items that you want to get re-clarified that we've gone through and put a lengthy discussion. So what do we do with this now? We just have you bring it back in for approval for our December meeting.
Exactly. Yes, Mr. Chair. Yeah. So this is more information, you know, the opportunity to incorporate changes and recommendations that you make. And then I come back in December with the final budget for approval. And so that decision comes at that meeting.
Do we need a motion for that, just to receive it and have it brought back, or is it just done through natural flow?
I think it's just done naturally. Yeah. And
Okay.
at the next meeting, there'll be a full motion and a report.
Okay. Thank you. Next, we'll move on to action items. When we go through these, I'll just comment on one that 6F, the early on, Lindsay will report. We'll talk about that when she talks about her library activity report in 6G. So if you can just hold your comments till then. But under the action item, if you have any questions or comments, raise your hand and I'll try to catch you with it. The next is item 6A, the systems internet 2021-2020. Next is systems circulation 2021-2020. Next is a virtual program participation September, October 2021. Item 6D is a social media activity September to October 2021. Next is 6E, our community navigator update report from Josh Smith, community navigator. Questions on that? Next is 6F for early childhood milestone program. And then 6G, which is Lindsay's activity report, report from Lindsay Brock, Director of Library Services. Go ahead, Lindsay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'll just go through this report briefly. Like I did mention, our update to our phase reopening plan. So Coldstream branch reopens tonight, and the remaining 4 basic branches will open the week of December 6th. And then the plan is to resume full open hours at all branches the week of January 17th. So we're just preparing, making some minor changes to branch open hours based on community feedback. We did run a survey and based on traffic patterns that you know, both pre and during pandemic. So we've taken this opportunity to make some adjustments to open hours. So we're looking forward to getting back to normal by mid-January. The Adelaide Metcalf Novel Branch, so that was launched during OPLW, Ontario Public Library Week, and we continue to promote it as a service point. And as I mentioned earlier, we will be coming back to the board, or no, I don't think I mentioned that. We'll be coming back to the board in May with an update on that project. And we are getting a lot of interest from other library systems. I'm getting emails from other places who want to know more about the unit and how it's working. And we're doing our own testing and planning to enhance the service there. So moving ahead with that, we had our Early On Child and Family Center open houses there on November 2nd. And thank you again to everyone for attending those. Really great opportunity to show you the spaces. River Heights Early On Child and Family Center. So I mentioned that in the budget presentation. So Thames Valley School Board received approval from the Ministry of Education to create a new licensed childcare center and Early On Child and Family Center at the River Heights School in Dorchester. So we'll be planning for what service and programming looks like at that site in 2022. And the press release is attached to the agenda. A few programs that I want to draw your attention to. So we have our December countdown project, which I think it's called The Gift of Time now. It's been rebranded. So that program will launch December 6th. And so we are running a program for the age 2 to 6 age 7 to 11 and 12 and up, so including adults. And it's, you know, a variety of activities and just encouraging people to, you know, try something new, spend time with their family. It was a really successful run by Early On last December. So now it's an Early On and library project combined. Great uptake so far. All of the 2 to 6 year old spots have already been spoken for. Registration is full, so we're looking to see if we can increase numbers there. But it's going to be a great December. As well in December, we've got our Warm Feet, Warm Hearts campaign. So we are promoting the donation of new warm socks at all of our library branches between November 19th and December 17th. This need was identified as being, you know, people who are struggling with homelessness or just, you know, other challenges. Often socks are kind of overlooked as an item that is donated. And so we're looking to support that need, and we're going to be coordinating with Josh on delivering those sock donations to different agencies and partners in the county. We're also continuing to work on our Middlesex Community Murals project. So this started out as a staff project where we were kind of gathering experiences and interpretations and artwork and things that we could display as a kind of staff pandemic experience, display those in the branches. This extended to our community members, encouraging them to share their pandemic experience and also thoughts and hopes for the future by responding to some guiding questions. So we launched it during Ontario Public Library Week, and submissions will be collected until December 18th. And then we'll be working on how to display this kind of art and community project in our branches. Another retirement at the Dorchester branch, Donna Fuller, who was branch assistant there. Her last day was October 30th. So we said goodbye to Donna after 21 years. That included 12 years as supervisor of the Avon branch. So we had kind of opportunities for people to drop in the week before Donna finished to share their well wishes with her. So we wish Donna well. And then, like I mentioned earlier, we do have a number of vacancies. So we have postings for student assistants. We're looking for casual branch assistants, and then a couple permanent part-time branch assistant positions at a couple locations. So those will just be to fill the gaps left by retirements and resignations over the past 20 months, preparing for our full service hours in January. And I think that's it.
Okay, any questions then for Lindsay with respect to that report? Okay, if not, then we'll move on to 6H, which is library news article, October 2021. Next is River Heights Early On Childhood Care. Just a comment, and tell me if I'm right or wrong, please, Lindsay. But I see they got $6.6 million allocated to this, but this wasn't what we had started in about 2017, whether it was from provincial funding.
I believe the discussion started then. I think that's around the timing. And so that's when the planning started.
Okay, no, because when I read this letter, it makes it sound like it's all brand new. But I know it's been going on and we've been after it for quite a while. So, okay, thank you. Next is our 6J, December Family Countdown Program. Next is 6K, the Middlesex Community Murals Project. Seeing no other questions or any hands up, I look for a motion that item 6A through 6K be received for information. Moved by Ruth, seconded by Warden Kathy Burkhardt-Jessup. Any further comments or questions? All in favor? It's carried. Thank you very much. Any inquiries? I got you under new business. Is that what you're going to talk about, Mary Gay? Okay. We'll go to next is item 8, new business. Mary Gay has a report. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jim. I attended the Ontario Library Services Board Assembly meeting last Wednesday, I believe. It was interesting. I believe they're going to be biannual, one in the fall and one in the spring. And I think before there was maybe just one in the spring. Lindsay, correct me if I'm wrong on that. But anyway, it turned into, at the end, a round table discussion. And I talked to Lindsay about this prior to today. And a lot of the conversation was about doing self-evaluations for the board. Many of the boards have trouble retaining board members. And because of the influx, they've started to do this, self-evaluation sessions, and they're promoting them as even a useful tool for orientation for new board members. So that might be something that this board or the board looks at for next term, the start of next term. Another topic of discussion was eliminating the late fees. And it seems that many of the libraries are doing just that. Of course, we've only done them for the children's books, but they say that when you look at the overall budget, and it's just such a small percentage, and then when you calculate in the amount of time it takes for staff to do the actual finds and the collections, it's not really worth it. So that's maybe something that the board could look at next year and at least have a discussion on it. So, and that's about it, Jim. Thank you very much. If anybody has any questions, feel free.
I've just got one, because you mentioned about training. Is that they're looking at training for library boards?
Well, they say, well, no, I just am suggesting maybe it's something we could use to do for the next board coming in, Jim, next term, as an orientation tool. We're lucky. We're very lucky. I don't think we've ever had anybody that has quit, that to my knowledge, we haven't. Lindsay or Bill, you maybe could help us out in this, but there was one board from Sault Ste. Marie that said they had like 4 members quit this term. And so I guess, we're kind of unique that we all stick around. So we enjoy it, right?
I would honestly think it'd be a good idea, and not, I don't want to call it training, but more or less an information session when you get appointed to the board, that they explain the responsibilities and I guess the commitments that are expected and what they expect you to do. But I know with another group I'm organized with, training is going to be mandatory when the new act comes in. So it's something that everybody should be looking at with respect to being on boards. But
yeah, we're even looking at it, Jim, before people even apply, like making sure that one of the things that we want to do next time is put up a bit of an orientation guide. So before people apply, they know what they're getting into. And so you're going to start seeing that not only for county council, but also for library board and other board opportunities that we have.
That's a good idea. Lindsay and I did discuss this, and Lindsay's aware of it. She's heard it before. Maybe Lindsay, you want to speak to it a little bit as well?
Yeah, and I think it's another tool that's being used a lot with staff as well, that self-evaluation. And so it makes sense that it extends to board members. And it's also important. I think it's a really good tool to make sure that the group and myself know what a board member wants to get out of the experience as well. So if there's something missing, that's a really good opportunity to identify what I should be doing better and what we should be doing more as a board.
that's great. I want to congratulate Bill on his ventriloquist course, because first time I've seen him speak and his mouth didn't move at all. So good job. Is there any other questions then with respect to Mary Gay's report? Thank you very much for that, Mary Gay.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go under new business. We've got our agenda under 8A is our meeting dates from September the 2nd, 2021 to December 13, 2022. On that, I personally might just have I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a problem with the June 28, 2022 meeting. So I'm going to have a schedule problem. So I'll just let the board know that early. Any other questions with respect to the new business? I've got a question with in the year under the Library Act, how many minimum meetings are you allowed? Can you have? Have we got enough to make sure that we're within our I know we had the big discussion when we said we don't have to meet every month, but, or when it's required, but we're good with this from the way it is, Lindsay?
Yes, the minimum is 7. per
Okay,
year.
yep, thank you very much. If there's no other questions, then I'll move to bylaws, and at 9A is that I look for first and second reading of a bylaw that to confirm the proceedings of the November 23rd, 2021 meeting of the library board. Moved by Brad, seconded by Ruth. All in favor? It's carried, and I look for third and final or third reading of the bylaw. Moved by Mary Gay, seconded by Ruth. All in favor?